All right. Good morning, guys. Or good evening.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. So, in our last session, we have started discussing about service models of the cloud computing. Right. So, I took some time and I have explained that. So, let's quickly recap that. So whenever we are building any infrastructure, for example, every software company or any organization who develop their product or who depends on the infrastructure like servers, network and all. So first of all, they are going to look for a space. So then they are going to purchase some servers, they are going to purchase some cables, network routers, switches, and they will connect all those things and we call it as a network. In simple, network means group of interconnected devices. So those devices are switches, routers, firewall, right? So we might have some servers also. So along with that servers, we are going to purchase a database and we are going to have like you know virtualization. Then on top of that server, one server earlier we used only one operating system. But when you install this virtualization, you can use the server to run multiple operating systems. So then you're going to depend on applications like IIS or Nginx or Apache. So you're going to take one of the server and then whatever the data is prepared or whatever the application is prepared or designed by your team, those data you're going to deploy and it will be delivered as an application. So this is the common process in traditional on-premise. But when coming to service models of the cloud computing, if it is a software as a service, these all things will be managed by service provider only. We are going to consume that and we are going to deliver our application. That is a
ఇది సర్వీస్ యాజ్ ఏ సర్వీసు సాఫ్ట్వేర్ యాజ్ ఏ సర్వీసు ప్లాట్ఫామ్ యాజ్ ఏ సర్వీసు ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్ యాజ్ ఏ సర్వీసు చూసి ఆల్రెడీ ఇంటర్నెట్ లో
yes. Yes, Geeta. So any questions?
కోకోనట్ వాటర్ అయిపోయింది.
Okay. If you don't have any questions, please be on mute. Why? Because this session is a recorded one. So we are getting a lot of background noise. Right. So when coming to this software as a service, so these all things will be managed by the service provider. In our case, AWS is going to manage all these things. So no control. For example, you need an application, you cannot ask them to run it on like a Windows operating system only. You cannot ask them to run it on only HP servers or Dell servers. You cannot ask them to run it on MySQL or MSSQL particular database. So such type of control we really don't get in the software as a service. For example, Gmail is an example. So can you ask Google to deliver your Gmail application by by using Windows operating system? Even if you ask, will they consider it? No. So in similar manner, the software as a service applications won't give control to manage these resources. So that is a primary thing. When coming to platform as a service, yes, you will get an option to manage your data and application. If you provide your data, so then based on the data, your application is going to deliver. If you want to change your data, yes, that's in your hand. So, but the remaining, these entire platform, you cannot modify. When coming to infrastructure as a service, so till virtualization, the service provider is going to manage. But you have a choice to select your operating system. For example, you want to launch Windows. Yes, you have an option to choose Windows, or if you want to launch Linux, you have an option to choose Linux also. So on these components, we are going to get choice to control or manage. We can log in. It's all our requirement. Okay. So now I'm going to launch an example applications for all these three. But before that, I want to mention one thing. So I'm going to use AWS services, and my intention is to explain these models. We haven't created a AWS account. We don't know how to create AWS account also. Who joins the session? So no one created AWS account yet. So I already have an AWS account and I'm going to give an examples for this. So please concentrate on this module instead of, okay, what I'm launching and how to launch that, and you please don't try to launch that. So in our coming sessions, we are going to discuss in detail, and then you can launch that services, no issue. But at moment, just try to concentrate on the service models and what level of access we are getting, how much efforts we are putting to get a website. So my requirement is I need a website. I need a website. So to get this website, so we have all the three models. So initially, software as a service. When coming to software as a service, so I'm going to use an application called Lightsail. Basically, this application comes under software as a service. So only thing you need to choose here, what type of website you require. Do you need a WordPress website, WordPress multi-site, Drupal, Magento, Nginx? What type of website you require? You need to select that. So here is a Lightsail. I'm selecting it. Okay, so now, so here, if you observe, the primary thing is what blueprint you want to select. You want to go with the WordPress, Joomla, Magento, MeanStack, Nginx, Flask. So I'm going with the WordPress. So then scroll down. What is a monthly package you want to choose? Okay, I'm going to take this first month, it is going to be free. So I'm taking 3.5 US dollars package. Then scroll down. So what is the name you want to give for this website and how many websites you required? Select that, scroll down, click on create instance. See, in this software as a service, is it asking me to choose the storage, virtualization, whether where do you want to run? You want to go with the, and is it even asking any data, how the website should look like? It is not even asking the data, but it is giving an option to choose what type of website you require. We are picking that, then click on create instance. The remaining things, these all things, it is going to be managed by the service provider, vendor, and end of the day, we are going to get our website. Okay, so that is one example. So you cannot have an option to choose operating system, what type of virtualization, what type of runtime, data. Even I haven't uploaded any data, I haven't selected any blueprints and all. Okay, so that is a first example. I'll show you output in some time. When coming to platform as a service, so here in platform as a service, these all components is going to be managed by the service provider, and data and application we need to provide. If you want to change the data, yes, we do have an option to change the data. Okay, so for this platform as a service, I'm going to depend on an option called Elastic Beanstalk. So this Elastic Beanstalk will give you an option what type of platform you require. What type of platform means, okay, your application is in PHP, okay, choose a PHP platform. You developed your application in Go language. Okay, choose a Go language platform. Your application is developed in Python. Okay. So pre-configured platforms available here. So if you don't give data also, a default data will be applicable. A sample website data will be applicable. Okay. But if you want to, yes, you can give your own data here. So let me navigate to AWS console again. I'm selecting Elastic Beanstalk. So here it is. Now click on create a application. What type of application you want to give? So I have a sample PHP code, guys. Here is a sample PHP code. So this is a index.html file. Okay, this is my website and I want to deliver this website to everyone. So that data is in my local machine. Here it is. So what I can do, I can zip it and I can upload it. But initial stage, let's go with the default web page. So application name, so PHP demo app. Now, do you want to give any tags? If you want to give who created this, when created this, so the tag you can give it here. Now, as I mentioned, platform. So these all are the platform we have. So now I have a PHP code, I can select PHP. Remaining all things. So as I want to deploy PHP, so if you observe, so how to deploy PHP application. So if you want to deploy a PHP application, we need to have like here lot of steps involved. See, if you take this, lot of steps involved. So you need to perform this and you need to end of this here somewhere. You are going to get an option for the upload and all. And finally, after performing all these options, see again, he is using AWS only. In this example, he's using AWS only. And finally, our website is going to be delivered. But you no need to perform all these things. If you want to deploy your application, select a platform that already Amazon prepared all the required these all things for us. Runtime environment, operating system, virtualization, Amazon already prepared. Right. So I selected a PHP platform. Now you want to go with the sample application or you want to upload your code. If you are good with sample application, just click on create. Later on also we can upload. But while creating, if you want to give any code, so this is a sample code. So don't worry, if you want, I can share this code also. So here is a code. I'm going to upload it. So click on upload your code. And from my local machine, I'm browsing this. I'm selecting that zipped file. Click on open. See, in this screen, I'm giving a name. After that name, I'm selecting my platform. So this entire platform, Amazon giving it as a service. See, it is not asking me any what operating system you want to go with. So you want to go with the WordPress, you want to go with the MySQL database. These all things it is not asking. Okay, what is your data? Upload your data. Click on create application. So till runtime, it's AWS responsibility. Data, my responsibility. So if I want to change the data, yes, of course I can do that. I can go here. I can edit this. For example, initially this is my web page. This is my web page, right? But I want to change this. So for that, I'm going to edit this data. So here is a congratulations. And instead of this is my web server, I'm going to call it as this application is delivering with platform as a service model. Okay, then control save. Now only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare another zip and I'm going to upload. I'll do that in a minute once this got created. I'll do that. Okay, it is creating. So that is platform as a service. So no operating system selection, no storage selection, nothing. When coming to the third one, infrastructure as a service. So as I mentioned, in this infrastructure as a service, this infra will be managed by AWS. On top of that, we have an option. Okay, what operating system you want to select? Then what application you want to use, whether we have different options. If it is a Windows, we have IIS. If it is a Linux, we have Nginx, we have Tomcat, Apache. We can pick that. Then what data you want to give, then application is going to deliver. So these all things we need to. Okay, so now let's depend on a service called EC2. So in this case, if you know what is your requirement, that is sufficient, you will get it. In this case, you must know what data it is, what your data will do, or else you can go with the default data. But in this scenario, you must know almost all the things except this infrastructure. So from operating system level onwards, you have all the choices. So then how you are using that and what application you are delivering. Less control, medium control, and full control on the infrastructure. Here, it's completely your choice. So here, if you want to purchase HP servers, yeah, your management can purchase it. Dell servers, yes, they can. So storage, HP storage boxes, or EMC square storage boxes, what exactly they want to, they can go with that. Networking, what type of devices they want to, they can. But in all these scenarios, we cannot ask Amazon to go with this particular server model only, with this particular virtualization only. Say your organization decided to go with the VMware for this virtualization layer or Hyper-V virtualization layer. In any of the scenario, they won't ask you or they won't consider your requirement. But here, yes. So if you taking AWS, in all these scenarios, AWS is going to use Xen hypervisor or Nitro hypervisor. You cannot ask Amazon to choose different hypervisors, the virtualization layer. Okay, but operating system onwards we can. So now let's jump into EC2. So here is a EC2. I'm going to launch a server, and as we have a choice, we can select our operating system. So tell me what operating system you want me to go with, Windows or Linux?
Linux.
Linux.
Linux, okay. And Amrut raised a question, how can we categorize that which console services belong to? Okay, whenever you start working with the service itself, you will come to know. So you must get familiar with that service. So Linux is a choice. So I'm going to take Amazon's own Linux operating system, that is Amazon Linux 2 AMI. And then what configuration we require, we can choose that configuration also. I'm selecting it. How many websites or how many servers you required, we can pick that servers. And how much storage you required for that server, we need hard disk, right? So 8 GB, 10 GB, we can select it. And I'm giving a name, infrastructure as a service server. And what ports you want to open for this server and all. I selected port number 22 to get connect, port number 80 for website. And to get connected, we have a mechanism called key pair. So I launched a server with the selected operating system. See, here I have a choice. If you guys asked me to go with the Windows, I might choose Windows here. So do we have a choice or not? Obviously, we have a choice here. Now, on top of this Linux, are we going to get a website? Definitely not. So here we are not going to get a website. We just got a server. We just got a server. And if you observe that existing one, this light sail, it should be ready by this time. And here you can see we got the website. This is the software as a service website. Okay. When coming to this bean stack, This is a platform as a service website. See, this is a default one. Now I want to change this data. Simple, I can click on upload and deploy. Choose file, where exactly your latest code is there. Select it, upload it. I'm not sure about this. Let me zip. I'm zipping it. Click on open. Then deploy. So I'm redeploying my latest data. But apart from that, I'm not asking them to choose the different operating system, all those things. So that is what platform as a service mechanism. In a couple of minutes, see here, this application is delivering with PaaS service model. So whatever the latest data I uploaded, I'm getting the data via this web server. So this is one web server, two web server. Now, and similarly, this infrastructure as a service, is it giving any output? No. Why? Because we just launched a server, we haven't configured anything. So till here only completed. Now, what runtime and what middleware application you want to use? So that again we need to. So let me get connected to the server. So I got connected to the server now from my local machine. So now again I have a choice. So do you want me to go with the Apache or Nginx? Why? Because this is our choice, right? So you have any special requirement? Apache, Nginx?
No.
Okay, so I'll go with the Apache. Yum install httpd. This is going to install the Apache. Again, let me start the service. The service got started and immediately here we are going to get a website. See, we got a test page. That means that's a default data. But instead of this default data, I can create my own data also. For that, again, I have a choice. So I'm creating a very simple website. So this website delivered with infrastructure as a service model. Okay, right. So immediately when I created that file and it is delivering from here. So I'm going to share all these URLs in our chat box and you can test it. You can access all these. Just click on that link and it will open in your browser. So this is one and this is another one. This is a third one. If you want to, we can even get the IP address of this. Let me check that. This URL works pretty well. Okay, so these are the three applications. So in all the three cases, our end output is website only. But this template given by AWS, this template I uploaded and I configured and I have performed everything, then only I'm getting this. So again, you might get a question, which one is going to be used widely? So widely used one is infrastructure as a service. Why? Because we have a lot of control. We have a lot of control and we have a lot of choices here. So in software as a service, for example, all the Naresh IT websites is delivering with this software as a service and light sale only. All Naresh IT, total four websites, nareshit.com, sheshajobs.com, nareshjobs.com, nareshit.in. Total four websites. Actually, we are using Amazon Light Sale only to deliver all those four websites. Okay, why? Because they really don't want to recruit a developer who can code and who can deploy by using this Beanstack, or else they really don't want to manage the infrastructure. They really don't want to recruit a guy who launch the server, who manage these servers in AWS and all. So, but this light sale, no, it's easy, and you don't need to have much programming language to manage these websites. So that's why they are going with the light sale. And platform as a service, where the organization have developers only. For example, you are a developer, you know only development part. So similarly, your organization have couple of developers. Your main concentration is on developing an application. So instead of maintaining the infrastructure, so how it is delivering, what exactly happening, how to install the application, that you really don't know. End of the day, what you're doing, you are developing your application, zipping and uploading it. So for this, do you need to know how to launch a server, how to manage what load balancer, auto scaling, these things? Not really required, right? So in that case, we can go with this platform as a service. But when coming to infrastructure as a service, yes, we must know what are the services we have, how to configure it, and on top of that, how to install that, how to manage that, and how to deliver that. For example, on this website, the load is very, very high. Who manages that? As it is an infrastructure as a service, we manage it. But the advantage is, so if you want to run multiple applications from a server, yes, it is possible with the infrastructure as a service. But for platform as a service, no. Why? Because no control over the choice, no control over the backend process. And software as a service, no control over anything. So based on the requirement, we are going to suggest the services. First thing. Second thing, infrastructure as a service is a widely used one. And whatever the thing organizations who manages their infrastructure, their building and delivering, that comes under traditional on-premise mechanism. All right. So now I'm open to all your questions, guys. So any questions on these service models of the cloud computing?
In the as per your chart, so in the software as a service, we have a choice for selecting the operating system and application. So why it is coming in Lightshell? It is inside the software as a service.
Sorry, I missed that question, Vaibhav.
See, as per chart, Lightshell is giving the options for the selecting the application and selecting for the OS. So why it is coming inside the SaaS as a service?
Okay. So whenever you are creating one, why it is showing an operating system? That's what your question. This one.
Yeah.
So based on this one only, these blueprints are available. So are you looking for blueprints in Windows operating system? No applications available. So when Amazon introduced this light sale, they come up with a tagline called no nonsense pricing. That means how much you are using, end of the day, this is what your bill is going to be. So you are going to get it as a package. And here, whenever you're selecting Windows, so if you are looking for SQL, yeah, you can go here and you can pick the pricing. So this coming as a package. See, if you want to install SQL, so you need to take a operating system. Within that, you need to download the application and you need to install that SQL. Then only you will get an access to SQL or not. But here, you are going to get SQL as a service. So that's also comes under light sale only. In Linux operating system, these are the applications available. Which one you required, you can pick that and you can launch it. So end of the day, are you performing anything?
Mm.
Are you performing anything? Are you giving your data? In this light sale, did I give my data?
Okay.
No, right? So you're not managing anything. Even if you select Windows or SQL, how exactly we have WordPress in similar manner, they are delivering how exactly we have this WordPress and all similar manner they are delivering SQL also. So that also you can consider it as a software as a service.
Okay.
Got that? Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Because it's the prerequisite, means it's already come with the bundle. That's why.
Yes.
Okay.
And hi, sir.
Yes, Naveen.
The thing is, like in real-time scenarios, like which model should we select? It will be documented, or we need to select by ourselves.
Okay. So first thing, end of the day, it's a client requirement. How much level of access they require. Based on that, we are going to suggest. So as I mentioned, this infrastructure as a service is a widely used one.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So now let's discuss one thing when coming to this cloud. So you might hear this, okay, using cloud is a secured or not. So when coming to that security part that we will discuss today, and let me delete these resources. Okay. So I hope everybody is cleared with these three things. So what are the resources I created? I'll just delete those resources. I already answered that. Amrut, the same question you already pasted and I already answered that. All right, so let me terminate this environment.
We can also manage the domain also, right? In all these applications, EC2 I know.
We can. End of the day, we are not going to deliver this IP address. We are going to deliver this application with a domain name only.
Okay.
So for that, we are going to use a service called Route 53. So Route 53 is AWS domain service. So we have a dedicated module for that.
Okay, but without Route 53, can we manage the domain?
Yes, you need to purchase from another service providers like GoDaddy
Okay.
or Big Rock. You can purchase there and you can deliver it.
Okay. We just map to IP address, correct?
Yes. Okay, so when coming to the security, it is important for your certification exam, guys. Whoever planning to write the certification exam. So when coming to security, so basically,
Sorry, one question. Is this the first class or have I missed classes before?
actually we have discussed about deployment models and we have an introduction to cloud.
Okay, so one more class before this?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't started AWS yet. So AWS introduction and all, we are going to start from Monday onwards. So yeah, so you haven't missed anything related to AWS. This is a prerequisite, I can say. So my team is going to share the recorded sessions. When you have some time over this weekend, you can go through that videos also.
Okay, okay, all right. Also, the EC2 instance you were showing earlier, right? Like what exactly is EC2?
EC2 is a server. That server is going to run in the cloud. So I'm sitting at somewhere else in Hyderabad, but I'm launching a server in just some time, and I'm going to deliver that server to you guys. So to deliver my website, how much time it took? So the same thing, if you want to perform in on-premise, it's going to take a lot of days, right? We need to purchase that hardware, we need to build it. So instead of that, so we have configured a server in cloud itself, and I have delivered that website. So the DC2 is a virtual server over the cloud. So however, no one knows what exactly this light sail, beanstack and EC2. So they are also very new to this. So I haven't touched that yet. All right. So when coming to security, so many guys will raise this question. So running our resource in cloud is a secured option or not? So many guys will get that. So basically take any application. So is using Gmail is a secured option? Many guys say yes, but how it is a secured option? You're trusting that company, it's a good organization, they are encrypting, fine. Those all options we have with Yahoo also. So for example, you have set up a weak password. You set your phone number as a password for your Gmail. So someone easily gets that password. Or you set up your girlfriend name as a password or wife name as a password. Right, they will end up there itself, right? So you set up the weak passwords or easily guessable passwords. So in that case, if you complain to Google and if you say, okay, someone hacked my Google, Google is not secured. Google is secured only, but it's problem from your side. You haven't configured, strong password. You haven't enabled multi-factor authentication or two-factor authentication. So that is problem from your side. So basically when coming to security, it always both parties responsibility. So this mechanism, we call it as a shared responsibility model. So sometimes we call it as a shared security responsibility model also, but it's a shared responsibility model. What exactly that means? That means security of the cloud and security in the cloud. Total two options are there. When coming to security of the cloud, so the service provider, AWS, Azure, GCP, that organization is going to take care about their physical infrastructure, their resources, their hardware, physical security, what level of security you are getting to, so that is security of the cloud. And you really no need to worry about that. It is a service provider responsibility. When coming to security in the cloud, now you launched a server. So sometime back, I made that server available for everyone. Whatever the website, I shared, that website is open for everyone, right? Instead of that, I want to opening for everyone is not a secured option in some cases. So you want to make it available for only group of your organization users. So that we can do that. And whatever the data whatever the server we launched, for example, sometime back I launched a server, and if I want to encrypt that data after selecting operating system, server, how many we required, here we have an option called encryption. Are you enabling this or not? If you are enabling this, yes, the more secured, but by default it's not going to be encrypted. So who have choice to encrypt this? We have a choice to encrypt. So that is in our hand. Whatever the data you are creating, now I am creating a 8 GB volume, whatever the data we have within that, if I don't encrypt, if someone get access, they might view the data. But if I encrypt, yes, it's a bit difficult for them to access the data, right? So in whose hand this feature is? It's in our hand. So this feature, yes, we need to. And in similarly, we have a service called S3. That is a place where we are going to store all the data. It is a storage service in AWS. So we can upload the data, we can share the data. For example, I want to share a file with you guys. So that particular file, I want to share our course content. For example, let me give you that URL. Here it is. So now I uploaded some data and I want to share it with everyone. So I'm going to make it public. So who have access to the public? I mean, who is making that? I'm making it. So now whenever whoever have this URL, they can access the data. So in whose hands this feature is? As a customer, it's in my hand only. So that particular feature we need to take care. So that actually comes under security in the cloud. So it is always customer responsibility. It is always customer responsibility. Okay. So this is an important thing if you are going to write cloud practitioner certification exam. So I'll just show you a couple of certification questions also today. And along with that, one more advantage with the cloud is pay as you go mechanism. Pay as you go means pay for the resources you actually used, and the usage calculated by using metrics. If it is a server per second basis with minimum of 60 seconds, if it is a database per GB basis, if it is a storage per GB basis, we are going to get charged. Sometime back for demonstration, I launched the server just for 2 minutes. Yes, if it is a paid service, I will get charged for that particular 2 minutes only, not more than that. So pay as you go is a mechanism, one thing. And yesterday I mentioned CapEx and OpEx. So when coming to AWS, no capital expenditure required. So this capital expenditure means, for example, you have a thought to deploy, or you have a thought to develop and deploy your application and deliver that application via AWS. So you don't have any money, but you have a good thought. So you developed your application in your local machine. Now you need something to deliver it to everyone. If the same thing, if it is like, 15-20 years back, if you have a thought, yeah, you need to develop that. Either you need to sell that idea to a big organization, or else you need to build your own infrastructure. Get your server, build the infrastructure, deploy that server, do your own marketing, then your server will be available, your application will be delivered to end customer. But now, without having all those things, create an AWS account, deploy your server, deliver it, but end of the month, what configuration you have taken, how big server you have taken. So initially, you don't have much customers, only 4 or 5 customers you are expected in the first month. In first month, go with the small configuration. Second month, that application is like, gaining some popularity and you're expecting like hundreds of the requests. Okay, whenever you're expecting the traffic, in that time only increase your configuration and deliver it. So we can scale the resources based on the requirement. For example, if you take Signal application, so initially no one knows that, but when Elon Musk got tweeted and when this WhatsApp privacy rules got changed, so many guys downloaded that Signal, and initially at the initial stage they are not able to handle all the traffic. They are not able to handle all the traffic. So what happened? They immediately, provision some servers and they're scaling. So if it is an on-premise, it's a big thing. Going out and purchasing a server and making that available, it will take some time. But if it is a cloud, it's not going to take that much time. So that is one simple example. And if you're taking many bank applications, DBS Bank, actually their entire infrastructure runs on AWS. Right. So Netflix, even GoDaddy have like what are the static websites you launched in GoDaddy that actually runs on Amazon Web Services, and Bitspilani, their entire website and everything runs in AWS environment. Prime Videos, Amazon Prime Videos, Amazon website. So those all actually running on AWS only. So the reason is, so it scales automatically and no capital expenditure required to move. And another thing, pay as you go, pay for the resources you actually used. So these are the main components, right? So along with this, AWS have its global infrastructure. We have regions. So there is no technical definition for this, and it's just a physical or geographical location. And we have availability zones, AZs, we call it as these are the data centers. These are the data centers of AWS, and every region contains minimum of 2 data center. And you might aware about that in Hyderabad, we are going to get a data center by 2022. So it got announced, and AWS Hyderabad region. So in works. See here on November 5th, 2020, it got announced. Second AWS region in India, and within Hyderabad itself, they are going to establish 3 availability zones. An availability zone is nothing but a data center. So in Hyderabad and surroundings, they are building 3 data centers. Right. So it is located state of Telangana and all. Right. So this is an article related to that. It's from official AWS website only. So those actually comes this layer. On top of that, we have a CDN service like, edge locations or point of presence location. So we have this point of presence like a 210 plus point of presence locations across the globe. And what exactly it is, how exactly, that we will discuss in our next session. So now I'll quickly show you a couple of certification certification questions for the topic we discussed.
Just one question. What's the difference between the physical location and the availability zones? Like, could you explain with an example, please?
See, okay, in simple, so if you ask me where you are from, I'll tell you I'm from Hyderabad. So Hyderabad is a geographical location. Again, if you ask me from where is your house, and how many houses you have in Hyderabad, so I might have 2 houses in Hyderabad. So the actual resource is in Kukatpalli. But for that geographical location, we have a name, and that name is region. Did I answer your question?
Okay. Yes, thanks.
So for entire Asia Pacific, so in Asia Pacific, all the cities, they don't have network and all. So for Asia Pacific region, they give a name. So that name is Mumbai region. So again, within that Mumbai region, we have 3 data centers. Those data centers, we call it as a availability zone.
Got it.
So this is the first question.
One question. What is the cost of the AWS Beanstalk?
Sorry.
What is the cost for Elastic Beanstalk?
Beanstalk, if you're taking T2 micro, it's not going to cost us anything.
Okay. It is the same like the EC2 price?
Yes.
Okay.
Come on, we should not take this much time for this question. Just a couple of minutes back, I explained this.
A.
Yes, it reduces the capital expenditure. So pay as you go, pay for the actual resource you used. Capital expenditure means first you need to invest. You need to invest first, then only you need to build that infrastructure, then only you can deliver. But in pay as you go mechanism, it's not like that. So A is the right answer here. And I have another question here.
C.
C. Yes. So under shared responsibility model, who is responsible for security and compliance? So always it's
C.
both parties' responsibility. For compliance, AWS is responsible. For example, our resource is compliance with the PCI DSS standard or not, FedRAMP standard or not. You know, um, so we have some standards like HIPAA compliance. So whether our infrastructure is defined with a particular standard or not, that is AWS will take care. But he's talking about security as well as compliance. If we talk about only compliance, yes, only AWS responsibility. But for security, it's a AWS will take care about the security of the cloud. Customer will take care security in the cloud. So it's both parties responsibility. Okay, so this is another question.
A.
So which method helps to optimize cost for users moving to the AWS cloud? So paying only for what is used. Purchase hardware before it is needed. No purchase required. No hardware required in cloud. Manually provisioning cloud resources, that doesn't make any difference whether you are manually or asking Amazon or scripting. Purchasing the maximum possible load, not really required to purchase the maximum possible load. What exactly your requirement is, you just need to go with that. Okay, this is another question related to the topics we discussed. How can the AWS cloud increase user workforce productivity after migration from an on-premise to data center?
Is it B?
Much faster. See, for example, you have same application in AWS, you have taken very basic configuration, but in on-premise, you have very high configuration. So obviously AWS server will give slow responses. So I can say B is not a valid answer.
A.
Just cover the application configuration management
Yeah,
on
I think
behalf of
A.
the
A.
C.
I think that's B.
C.
It's A. So when coming to D, we always need to take care about the security. And AWS take over application configuration on behalf of users. No, end of the day, we need to take care about the configuration, what application we are delivering. So whenever we are moving from on-premise to AWS, do we need to provision any infrastructure? Do we need to wait to provision an infrastructure? Already it's available. What server you required, pick that. What database you required, pick that. What storage you required, pick that. You no need to wait for that infrastructure provisioning.
Right. So how is B that different from B as
How?
how is B as a boy that different?
How B is. So I'll tell you, for example, in AWS, you have taken a very small configuration server and you deliver your application. But the same application, if I host from on-premise with a bigger configuration, see, so in AWS, I have taken this configuration, 1 CPU and 512 MB RAM capacity. Yes, still you can deploy your application and you can deliver your application. But how much performance you can expect from a 512 MB RAM server? So in on-premise, I already spend a lot of amount and I build the infrastructure. Within that infrastructure itself, okay, I have deployed my server with a higher configuration. So in these cases, which one is going to give highest performance? The higher configured server only will give.
Yeah, the one with the higher CPU or allocated.
So that's the reason this is the one.
Okay. Right. But it also lets you get much faster. The power infrastructure. I mean, like just theoretically.
See,
Is it still a fact B is true that on the cloud infrastructure does give you more efficiency.
I definitely agree, but here he is talking about
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah,
migration.
question perspective, yes.
Yeah. So when coming to the regular, forget about this question. So you have an application in AWS. So and the same application is on premise. So if it is an on premise, if you want to deliver to multiple customers, so your customers are across the globe. So for some remote location, they are trying to access. So obviously, how big server you are taking, they will get latency. But in AWS, to reduce the latency, we have options like point of presence locations or edge locations, and we call it as CDN endpoints, content delivery network endpoints, cache locations across the globe. So if you are depending on that service, where exactly your customer is there, how small server you are taking, that will deliver without any latency. So that is different part that we will discuss in our global infrastructure section. That in our next session we are going to talk about that.
Sorry. So the efficiency is directly proportional to the allocated.
Yes. So that
Hello,
is
sir.
yes.
Sir, can you tell the total how many questions are there and what's the time limit?
Okay, when coming to certification exam, we are going to have 65 questions and 130 minutes is the time limit for associate tier exam. So I will talk about that certification at the end of the course, where you can register, how you can register and all. So let me quickly take you through this course content. And if you are looking for a course content, here is the document. So click on that link, you will get this. So I'm going to paste that. You are in our chat box. So click on that link, you will get this. And mainly, so here, every single session you are joining here, right? That is important only. So far we have discussed introduction to cloud computing, advantages of cloud computing. Today we have seen service models and deployment models of the cloud computing. Now in our next session, we are going to have introduction to AWS, then AWS global infrastructure. Then we are going to start discussing about how we can create an account, what is the free tier limitations, and how you not get charged for the AWS account and all. So those things we will discuss in our next session. Then we are going to
Sorry to interrupt you.
your voice is not that clear, Sri.
So is it better now? Any better?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Hey, Naresh, so is this program or this course geared towards successfully completing your certification? Is that what the course content here is for?
I missed that question. So you're talking about certification or?
No, no, no. So, Naresh, let me know if I am not audible enough. Right?
Can you
My
please
question.
drop your question? Can you please drop your question in our chat
Yeah,
box?
I will do that.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you. So we are going to start discussing about IAM. So how we can create users, and what is a root user, what is IAM user, and how to enable multi-factor authentication, and how to set up a password policy. So then we are going to create our own policies by using policy generator, and we are going to verify access of that users. So the user access on our AWS environment will be managed by a service called IAM. So that is our first module. So then we are going to start with the storage. The service name is S3. So how we can manage data in AWS environment. So that is our second module. So then Linux introduction. So as I mentioned, I'm going to share a free Linux course. So I'll share it. And however, along with this free course, I'm going to explain Linux basic commands. I'm not going to take you to the installation, basics of Linux, and how we can perform the web server configuration and the storage. So here volumes and snapshot is there. So how to attach a volume, how to detach a volume, how to increase that volume, how to take a backup copies of that volume, So that I'm going to explain with Windows as well as Linux. I'm going to explain with both the operating systems. And here in compute, how to launch a server, what is load balancer, how to configure load balancers, how to perform automatic scaling, how to monitor our resources, and what is AWS CLI, and how we can use that CLI, and elastic file system, that is a shared storage for our AWS. And we have a dedicated sessions on Lightsail and Beanstack also, and how we can manage resources by using AWS Systems Manager and all to perform or to automate the resources for performing the patches and all. So these are the services we are going to discuss as part of the EC2 module. Then the hosting service, how we can host our application, how we can map our domain names to our application, what are the different hosting options we have, like different routing policies we have based on geographical location or latency wise also we can deliver our application. For example, some customers coming from India, for them only our application should be delivered. So such type of configurations we perform here. So then networking part. So I'm going to explain networking basics. What is IP address? What is public IP? What is private IP? What is subnet? How to calculate those subnets and all. So those all things I'm going to explain here. So then we are going to discuss how to create our custom VPCs, how to block the traffic, how to enable communication between two, what is gateway endpoint, what is transit gateway, how we can enable communication between on-premise to AWS by using VPN and all. That we will discuss here. Then database. So how we can launch a database, MySQL, MS SQL, Aurora, total 6 relational database it supports. And what is the high availability option disaster recovery solutions we have here, DynamoDB and Redshift and Elastic Case. It's just an overview. And Redshift is a data warehousing solution and this is a casing solution. We are going to have an overview about that. DMS, data migration service, how we can migrate the data and all. And some security options, KMS, and how we can generate SSL certificates, how we can inspect our server's health, what are the advices coming from AWS, how we can deliver our content to all the worldwide users, and some application like a simple email, simple queuing, simple notification, and how we can migrate the server, and what are the DevOps tools, what is DevOps in cloud, how to perform that, automation, how to configure CI/CD by using the service, what is Lambda, how to deploy, what is cloud formation, what is container service of AWS, and how we can deliver that, how we can perform the custom CloudWatch monitorings and all. Then white papers overview, quiz and scenario based question discussion, resume key points and certification overview. So this is what our course content. Right, so I got a couple of questions in chat box. Let me take that question. So even if you have any question, you can. Is this course content guaranteed towards successful completion of AWS certification? Yes. So by end of this course, I'm going to share approximately 500 to 600 questions. So that definitely help you to clear the certification exam. Okay, one doubt in given example, how can Naresh IT website can be on light sale because of organization providing the data, right? So basically we can manage that website. See, we are taking Lightsail website that is giving a default website. We can log into that admin console and we can modify the data. We can upload our logo, we can upload our images, and we can deliver our data. So that part, no, we will discuss whenever we discuss.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir.
That part we will discuss here in AWS
Hello.
Light. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, can you share the syllabus? I have dropped this link in our chat box. You can just click on that link and you will get that, Jyotirmay. And yes, yeah, please go ahead with your question, Vaibhav.
Sir, what is the advantage of having the certification?
Certification, it's just a recognition from AWS. Certification won't give you job. It's just a recognition.
So suppose we are working for a company, so in that company we can raise for reimbursement for this certification.
Of course, that's what I do. I never paid for my certification. See, basically companies know to maintain that. For example, APN. Some companies will have APN. APN means Amazon Partner Network. So if they want to continue with that APN, so they need to have like a 10 certified candidates in their organization. So in that scenario, your company itself will force you to write that certification. That is one scenario. Second scenario, you are trying to switch a job and you want to showcase your skills and you want to test your skills. And that too, here in India, much organizations won't care about that certification, but countries like US and all, they really value the certification. So just because of Amirpet and all, so in India, everybody knows how we can get the certification and all. But US and all, definitely they value the certification. So they think that okay, this guy is matching the AWS defined standards and all, so they will respect that. So
So one question. So this course, will you also make sure you're taking care of the solutions architect path, or is it specific to like DevOps or developer path?
okay, so basically this certification exam, this course will give you confidence to take up of these four associate tier exams. So I'm not going to give you like the level of knowledge to take up a professional tier certification exam, but associate tier where you can take solution architect, sysaps administrator and developer, cloud practitioner, it's not at all a matter for us. You can 100% clear this, and I can give you assurance that 80% I can make you to clear this. Why? Because the see, for example, the things we are discussing, these are some real certification questions. In similar manner, for every module, for example, whenever we are discussing IAM, this is one certification question related to that. So I'll definitely take you through that questions also. And not only that, I'm going to share you so some test questions. So when we progress into the course, okay, this is one test simulated to real questions, and total 65 questions is 60 questions is here. So definitely, if you are spending time and if you are able to answer all these questions, definitely pretty confidently you can sit for that exam and you can take up that.
Hey, Naresh, just a quick question. So, for people who are not from a technical background, is this still worth it?
Again,
Okay, my bad.
you
I'll
have some
type it.
mic
I'll
issue.
type it. I'll type it.
So what is the passing marks for this exam?
No.
I got that question in our chat box.
Okay.
So it's a 70 percentage. So it depends on like it's a bell curve. Like sometimes if you got 60, you need to target for 70. But if you cross 65 percentage, it's a pass. So 65 is a minimum passing marks, but always aim for 70. Okay. Okay, so these all questions I'm going to take you through. So first thing, do we need to have any experience to learn AWS? Not really required. A novice or a fresher also can learn. My responsibility is I can make you to understand the subject. That is my responsibility. And as part of this course, do we need to learn Linux? And my answer is yes, basic Linux is required. So that's why I'm going to cover the Linux here, and I'm going to share a free Linux course, Git course, and Jenkins course. Okay, I'm going to generate coupons and I'm going to share those coupons. And if you are in any support job like a system admin, system engineer, DBA, network admin, if you are in any support job, how this course helps me? This course will take your career to next stage. Why? Because if you recall this course content, we are dealing with user management, storage management, compute management, hosting solutions, network management, DBA, and security management and application hosting, right? So all are this. What type of jobs we can get with this course? Engineer, sysaps, DB engineer, network engineer, solution architect. And I'm an existing developer. So what type of programming language you're using? These are the AWS supported ones. You need to choose one of the programming language, then you need to deliver. So if you want to go with the AWS developer with existing programming language, yes, I'm going to teach you what is CDK, Cloud Development Kit, how to use that, how to tweak AWS services. That I'm going to explain if you're an existing developer. And what certification we can take, as I mentioned, this. So not just 500 to 600, it's approximately 700 questions I'm going to share. So do we have any project or real time? Yes, this course is completely hands-on and we have multiple real-time scenarios. And some services, as I mentioned, that I cannot demonstrate here, like a database or server migration or hybrid. So those services I cannot demonstrate. For that, I'm going to take you through a YouTube videos. That is, go to YouTube, just look for AWS Avinash Reddy. You can find this. So there we have migration videos. That by using that migration video, I'm going to cover such type of services. And with this course content, how many years of experience you can add if you are able to complete all the tasks which I am giving. See, for example, for every single session, I'm going to give a task. This is an existing batch document. See, task, 3 tasks for the day. Even yesterday also, see, I have, this is like, 18th one, provided 3 tasks. So whatever the task I'm providing, if you are able to do that successfully, you can add 3 to 4 years experience to your profile. So this is a recorded session and every session is a recorded one, and you are going to get the recordings and you can access these recordings for coming 12 months. You can watch n number of the times. And every day, Naresh team is going to share that. Right? So that is one thing. And I'll do one thing, I'll share this document also. Within this document, I'll share this. So, okay, I'll do one thing. We are running out of time. So at least I need to have my breakfast. I take 2 sessions actually. Then I need to catch up for my office. So from Monday onwards, I'm going to.
Just a question. So are you Avinash or Naresh?
I'm Avinash. Naresh.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you.
We don't have session tomorrow and day after tomorrow. Next session will be on Monday, and you can join with the same link.
Thank you.
Same link works till the Tuesday. So you can join using the same link, and I'll share that free course link at Monday end of the session. So sorry for that. So we are running out of time. So, right. So that's it for today's session, guys. And one more thing, we are going to have a Slack channel once the batch is confirmed. If you're getting any questions, so you can post there. So the account creation part and all that we will discuss from Monday onwards.
So before Tuesday, we need to enrollment, right?
Yes, that we will do in our coming sessions. Before Wednesday, you can enroll. Yeah. So you can use same link to join Monday also. All right. So that's it for today's session, guys. Have a nice weekend. Thank you.